Protein is the most argued about nutrient in fitness, and one of the most misunderstood. Half the internet says you need mountains of it. The other half says it'll wreck your kidneys. The truth is more useful, and it might be the single most important dietary lever for how well you age. Let's go deep. This is longevity decoded, not protein powder marketing. The actual biology of how much you need, why, when it matters, and why it becomes more important, not less, as you get older. Start with what protein actually is. When you eat it, your body breaks it into amino acids, the building blocks for almost everything. Muscle, yes, but also enzymes, hormones, antibodies, and the structure of your organs and skin. And your muscle isn't a finished statue. It's in constant turnover, broken down and rebuilt every single day. Whether you gain, keep, or lose muscle comes down to the balance between that breakdown and the rebuilding, and protein is what tips it toward building. The rebuilding has a name: muscle protein synthesis. Think of it as a switch. Eating enough protein, especially from a meal, flips that switch on for a few hours, and your body assembles new muscle tissue. And there's a specific trigger. One amino acid, leucine, is the key that turns the switch. You need enough leucine in a meal, roughly 2.5 to 3 grams, to fully flip muscle protein synthesis on. Miss that threshold, and the response is muted. Under the hood, leucine activates a master growth sensor in your cells called mTOR. It's the same pathway that decides, moment to moment, whether your body is in build mode or breakdown mode. Protein and training push it toward build. In practice, that means aiming for a solid dose of protein per meal on the order of 1/3 to 0.5 gram per kilogram of body weight, rather than nibbling protein all day. Each real dose is another flip of the switch. Now the number everyone wants. The official recommendation, 0.8 grams per kilogram, is a floor to prevent deficiency, not a target for thriving. For building or keeping muscle, the evidence points much higher. The practical range from the people who study this is roughly 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. A simple rule of thumb, about 1 gram per pound of your target body weight. For most people, that's noticeably more than they currently eat. Not a shake every hour, just protein at the center of each meal, a palm or two of a quality source, 3 or 4 times a day. Which brings up quality. Not all protein is equal. Quality comes down to 2 things: how complete the amino acid profile is, especially leucine, and how well you digest and absorb it. Animal proteins, meat, fish, eggs, dairy, are complete and leucine-rich, which is why they punch above their weight. Plant proteins can absolutely get the job done, but they're often lower in leucine, so you generally need a bit more and a variety to match. To make it concrete, chicken, fish, lean beef, eggs, Greek yogurt, and whey are dense, high-leucine options. From plants, think soy, lentils, and beans, ideally combined, for example beans with rice, to round out the amino acids. Now here's the part almost everyone gets backwards. Protein doesn't matter less as you age. It matters more. Older muscle becomes resistant to the anabolic signal, a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. That means an older person needs a bigger dose of protein per meal to flip the same switch a younger person flips easily. The group most likely to undereat protein is exactly the group that needs the most of it. There's an emergency angle too. When you're sick, injured, or in a hospital bed, your body breaks down muscle to supply amino acids for healing. The more muscle you've banked, the more reserve you have to survive and recover. Muscle is a survival buffer. Why does all this matter so much? Because of what muscle really is. It is not just for looks or lifting. It is one of the most important organs of longevity you have. Muscle is your body's largest sink for blood sugar. More muscle means better blood sugar control and insulin sensitivity, which sits upstream of a huge amount of metabolic disease. It's also your armor against aging. The slow loss of muscle and strength, sarcopenia, is one of the strongest predictors of frailty, falls, losing independence, and even early death. In study after study, stronger people simply live longer. So the goal isn't just muscle for its own sake. It's building a reserve of strength and metabolic health that keeps you capable and resilient into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. But protein alone won't do it. Here's the crucial pairing. Protein provides the bricks, resistance training provides the signal to lay them. Eat plenty of protein and never challenge your muscles, and most of that potential is wasted. Do both, and they multiply each other. Lifting makes your muscle far more sensitive to protein for a day or more afterward. Protein plus training is the actual recipe for building and keeping muscle at any age. A quick word to women, because the fear is common and wrong. Eating more protein and lifting will not make you bulky. It builds a lean, strong, metabolically healthy body, and women are among the most likely to undereat protein and pay for it later in life. What about timing? The famous anabolic window, right after your workout. The honest answer from the research: it's real but small and wildly overhyped. Your total protein over the whole day matters far more than the exact minute you eat it. The same goes for how you spread it. Splitting protein across several meals is a reasonable default, but the newest evidence says your daily total is what really moves the needle. Hit the number in the pattern that fits your life. There's a bonus that helps with fat loss, too. Protein is the most filling of the 3 macronutrients, and your body burns more energy just digesting it. Higher protein tends to mean less hunger and a slight metabolic edge, which is why it helps whether you're gaining or leaning out. Now the fear you've heard. Doesn't high protein damage your kidneys? For people with healthy kidneys, the evidence says no. That worry comes from people with existing kidney disease, where the rules are different. If your kidneys are healthy, a higher protein diet is well tolerated. Is there such a thing as too much? Past roughly your target range, extra protein mostly just gets used for energy. It doesn't build unlimited muscle. There's no benefit to going wildly overboard, but the risk most people face is eating far too little, not too much. One more longevity nuance worth knowing. Certain fats, the omega-3s from fish, appear to make your muscle more sensitive to protein. Another reason a whole foods, protein-forward diet does more than the sum of its parts. So let's make it practical. Step 1. Know your number, roughly 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram, or a gram per pound of goal weight. For most people, that means consciously eating more. Step 2. Anchor every meal around a real protein source, so you hit that per meal dose and flip the switch several times a day. Step 3. Lift so that protein has a reason to become muscle. Step 4. And this one grows with every decade. As you age, push protein toward the upper end and keep training hard. It is one of the most powerful things you can do to stay strong, metabolically healthy, and independent. Because that's what this really is. Protein isn't about vanity. It's about defending the muscle, strength, and metabolic health that decide how the second half of your life goes. One honest note: this is education, not medical advice. If you have kidney disease or another medical condition, talk to your doctor before making big changes to your protein intake. If this is the depth you want, subscribe and grab the free longevity guide at longevity-performance.de. Next time, we keep decoding.